Well, hello everyone and welcome into Speaking of Diamonds. This is Rich and today is a weekend morning. Usually mornings are a very nice time, one of my favorite times to diamond paint, but it's also a very dangerous time to diamond paint because sometimes if I start diamond painting, I just end up diamond painting all day. If I start in the morning. And there goes all of the chores, the housework, whatever, for the day. But I've had, what has it been, 2 weeks since the retreat, the Great Lakes Escape retreat. It's been 2 weeks. I think it's been 2 weeks. Yep. And I've had a hell of a 2 weeks. So I figure let's sit down and do some diamond painting together. I'm just starting for the day. This is how I left it last night. And I thought we can just go through and do a WIP and Chat. So if you're new, WIP and Chat means WIP, take your work in progress, take it out and work on it while I work on my work on progress, or work in progress, or at least one of them. And we're just going to chat a little bit. And yeah, so let me go ahead and as I get ready here, I'll go through sort of what I'm using here. So I know most of you saw, or if you haven't seen, go back and watch it, my unboxing of the DAC Star Wars canvases. And I had to kit it up. There was no way that I could not kit up one of those and start working on it right away. So I'm working on this. This is one of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 works in progress, active works in progress that I have right now. We can talk about the other ones later, but I just had to do this one. And this is the one that is really the serotonin boost canvas, that when I need a super a super burst of the good brain chemical, I come to this one and work on it. So last night I finished like 2 or 3 squares of another work in progress for the Asian event, and I just needed a little bit more of a boost. So I turned to this one. So let's take a look and see that's what I'm working on. So this is the one, A New Hope. So the first movie of Star Wars. So what am I using? Well, first of all, I have my trash container here. This is from Zodiac Shadows. I have 2 of these. I really like them. A lot of trash containers I see don't have a lid. And I can't tell you how many times I've spilt this thing. And the lid stays on just enough that it doesn't go all over the place. It's a nice little magnet there. So that's what I have there. I have release papers from Crafts with Crashly, which, by the way, I have been honored to become an affiliate for Crafts with Crashly. So down below in the video description, there is an affiliate code that will save you a little bit of money, perhaps, and it will also perhaps make me a little bit of a commission. So if you would like to use that, please feel free to go ahead and do so. You're obviously not under any obligation to do so, but should you choose to, I would appreciate it. It's just a little something that helps support the channel and helps support things going off. So yes, the code is SOD10. So speaking of diamonds 10, that gets 10% off your order. And then, like I said, I may get a little commission from that. But these are papers. I bought these probably, I'm going to say almost a year ago. Not even ever thinking that I would have a Star Wars canvas. And these are clearly TIE fighters, rebel ships, Millennium Falcon, Death Star, so these are clearly Star Wars, but not Star Wars. I think they were careful enough to like make it not look exactly like Star Wars. But these are amazing that I had them. I don't know that if they have these papers anymore. I have to go look, because normally, like, I've converted to the 4x4 papers. It just works out better for me. I was explaining this to someone this week. They're like, why do you use release papers? And I said, well, first of all, I don't like crinkling the plastic and stuff like that. So I don't want to like keep having to deal with the plastic. And I find the sectioning with washi tape on the plastic cover, I find that a little tedious. So what I typically do here is I just cut back. You've seen this before. I cut back the plastic cover. I put a line of washi tape so I know where my edge is, and then I section with release papers. And I know that typically, depending on the painting, I know I can get one square done after work. So by the time I log off work, get Sammy settled, get dinner, whatever I need to do, all of that stuff, I can complete at least one square. Now this painting is very color blocking heavy, at least so far. But I think it's pretty much color blocking. So it's going a little bit faster. So I may get a block and a half done, but it just sort of helps me see, like, especially if I'm doing something for an event, or like this one I'm not doing for an event, but I have other event canvases. I want to see, okay, this is going to take me, 3 days or 3.5 days or whatever. So can I afford to work on this for a full 3.5 days, or do I just need to do 1 day and move on to an event canvas or whatnot? So, so that's why I like using the release papers. It just, gives me that timing. So let's see what else I'm using. So I have my little thimble that I have going on here. Which y'all know that I use that so I don't stick to the canvas when I use my pinky for some support. I am using an Ivy's Dazzlers. I know I've talked about these before, and I know I owe you guys a look at her website to see how to order these, but this was a blank from Rapture Resins, and I won it, and it was like, I just really was intrigued by the color combination, but I wasn't sure what I was going to do with it. Obviously make a pen, but I'm like, I don't know, would this be a cool looking pen? Just a regular pen? Would it be too boring? What have you? And then I thought, wait a minute, let me get this over to Ivy and have her turn this into one of her masterpieces. So, and the reason I think it works, well, first of all, with this painting, the orange obviously ties right in. But the reason I used it is because the Rebel Alliance, like their jumpsuits and stuff, are orange. So I thought, oh, that sort of works a little bit. And yes, that's how geeky I go into like trying to get my stuff to match and stuff like that. So I sent this off to Ivy. I says, surprise me with the tips. So she did a plain silver metal tip here. This is my favorite shape. I love that she did it just plain because it just sort of lets the blank speak on its own. I got my O-rings here, and then I had the end drilled for the DAC multiplacers. I am using alien putty in the tip. Yes, you can use alien putty in these. And then I'm using, in my multiplacer, I'm using oatmeal cookie from Tracy's DP World, just because I needed something that smelled really good. I have my Donna Bass everyday tweezers here, but let me show you. Boom, boom, boom. I get these out when I really need to do something. This is my Star Wars. This is from TTT After Dark. Was it Ashley? What's her name? starts with an A. I contacted her and she had a pair of these. They sold out, and I said, I need a pair of these. Can you make me another one? And she said, absolutely. So she made these. So I get this out, and we'll use this when I have some stuff to do. I just don't like always putting it down in the tray because I feel that I'm going to drop it hard enough at some point and pop these off. And they're so cool. It's just so cool. Vader, the Skywalker, the Stormtrooper, R2, CP3. I mean, come on, this is so cool. But anyway, I'll put those here. My backup pen is from Poshy Pens. This is a nice Fordite number with some sort of looks like a blue, purple, nebula type space thing with some space like stars and stuff like that. And my deck, single placer, multi-placer. And then this tray, sans stickers. This is from Pucky Pie Pours, which shout out to Pucky Pie. I miss your creations. But I totally get that, you know, you're not going to make yourself ill while you're doing the creations, but I do miss your creations. So that's why I just started putting, you know, you get all these stickers from these shops. I never know what to do with them. So finally I'm just like, you know, start putting them on things. So I thought this was it's a nice sort of plain looking canvas of a tray, you know, with the cool glitter that's in there. I just thought that was a nice addition. So what else am I using? Oh, I have to speak about this paper. This is from Crashly as well. This is the tracker, the diamond painting tracker that they have come out with. I love using these. I've used these from another store for some time. And I know that Crash and Kerwin were getting some requests for these. So I gave them another request. I'm like, we need these. I love using these because I'm going to tell you right now, I find a logbook. I have one, but I find it a little tedious. Here, this becomes my logbook a little bit. I can make notes on the back when I'm done, what have you. But I use this usually as my last piece of release paper, or I just leave it off to the side. But I'm going to mark off today that I sat down and I worked on this painting a little bit. And then when I'm done, I have the start and finish date. I have what exactly days that I worked on it. And I have a better idea of exactly how long this took me. Then, because this is such a special canvas to me, I'm using my Jerry-Majigger from DP with Sparklers. This specific one I got at the Great Lakes event, or Great Lakes Escape Retreat. Cheryl from DP with Sparklers was there selling some stuff. So I'm using this. I typically use it just on the edges to make sure that I'm getting my edge as straight as possible. And then I just build up against that edge. As you can see, I forewent. Is that a word? Forewent? I foregoed. I don't know. I didn't put my washi tape around the edge, which I normally would do to keep the tape clean, because I want this to stick a little bit. You know, and I pull back the plastic and I'll put it on here so I have like a nice right angle. Then I place right up against it and then I take it off. So I'm also using pretty much, I'm doing this as charted with the exception of 2 drills. I am using a metallic gold in this border around here. The border around the sides here would typically be this AB, this darker orange AB. And I just wanted to use something a little bit different. And then I'm using, this is a sparkler for the stars. A sparkler, this is a Sparklers for Square opal glow glass, I believe, and I think it just looks amazing. It gives you a little bit. It gives you the shine, the white of a star, but then a little bit of the blue of a star. You know, I think it works very well. These were normally the 50 not 5200, 3865 fairy dust, which are the ships here. And again, I wanted the stars to look a little bit different than the ships. So I settled on that. This took me an entire evening to pick out what my replacement drill would be here, because I wanted to make sure I had the right one. I started with like a clear sparkler, then I tried crystals, and I found this and I'm like, nope, this is exactly what I need here. So with all that said, let's go ahead and get started. I am kitted up into my tray brick system as well. I've done a video about how I came to decide that tray bricks would be the best solution for me. And as I continue using this, I just agree that this was the right move. I actually, in front of me, I have my tray bricks lined up. So I have a standing desk and then the hutch, and I put a 1x6 or something down to put my tray bricks on. And I have two paintings kitted up right now into two different sections. A third WIP and Chat I have in my Forever Young containers, just because I wanted to I had to travel with these. I took these to the retreat, so I put them in something a little bit different. And plus they were, I put these in here before I really got into the tray bricks as well. I was still deciding. So I have that going. And then the fourth one is my temperature chart. And I have those in a separate, one of the mini Elizabeth Ward containers, because I just take that out when I work on it. So hello, that's what I'm working on. Let's lay some drills down. Hello, everybody. Welcome in. I hope that you are having a good day, that you had a good week, that you're having a good month or whatever, however this catches you. I feel like I haven't done a WIP and Chat for a minute. I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it this morning, and I realized some things. I'm like, I want to share this with you guys because I wonder if you would relate. But we'll talk about that a little bit. Let's start with just an overview of the last week or so. So let's see. So for me, the big things this week were work, car, and Sammy. Those were my big, priorities, or the big, what's the word I'm looking for? The focuses of this week. So obviously work is always going to be up there, but what was your focuses this week? Did it go well? I think we're always glad that it's the weekend, but sometimes you're just extra glad that it's the weekend because you can decompress a little bit. So for me, work has been very busy for the last 2 weeks. The person, sort of my ops manager, that works on the team, she was on vacation, a very well-deserved vacation. I am a huge proponent of people taking the time off that they need, and that people pitch in to cover. So of course, that's me to pitch in and cover. So that meant in addition to all of my normal duties of leading the team, I had to do some operational stuff that, I'm going to be very honest, I haven't done in a while, and it took me probably 2 or 3 times longer than it would take Leah, my manager, to do, because she does it every week, every month, every day, whatever the case may be. So I had that going on, plus still trying to figure out the new boss situation, and getting the hang of the new dynamics of team meetings with it's so interesting that I'm part of this team now. My team is part of this larger team, and they literally have nothing to do with like what we do. Their communications, their governance, their there's a graphic designer for something, I don't know. And then here's us that we do like this QA over a functional unit, and it's just sort of interesting. But certainly super nice. Just not still trying to figure out how we fit in. And I think my new boss is doing that as well. I had my first one-on-one with her on Friday of this week. And I think overall it went well. You know, since it was our first meeting, she gave me sort of how she expects her one-on-ones to go. And I appreciated it because obviously I want to know, but she also does her one-on-ones very much like I do. You know, it's the person who comes to the one-on-one, it's their meeting. If there's something to talk about, she'll bring it. But pretty much I run the agenda and what is it that I want to talk about, whether it's something operational that I need support on, something I need to escalate, or even development opportunities for myself. So that was good. It was sort of weird because she's like, you know, here's how I expect. And she's like, and you lead the meeting. I'm like, okay. And I expected sort of like so since this is the first one, I'll take the lead and here's some additional things you need to know or whatever. But she just sort of stopped. I'm like, okay. And she doesn't know what the team really does yet. So I'm like, what am I supposed to bring up to you? Because like, how much explaining time to explain do I have here, to give you the entire backstory and then tell you what the problem is. So I filled her in on just some very basic things and some challenges the team is having with one of our work streams, and lack of competency in the reporting area and not loading data in time for us to do our reviews on a timely basis and stuff like that. So just like a little bit of an overview, but something that I'm wasn't really ready. I didn't bring it up. I wasn't bringing it up to like escalate it. Like, I need your help here because I'm still working through it with another senior manager. We're both working to figure out why this isn't happening at the time that it should be. So I don't have any concrete, this is where the failure is, this is what the improvement should be, this is what whatever the case may be. I don't have any of that yet because we're still working through it. We have a stopgap in place, and I think that's all that we can do at this point, is just sort of work through it and figure out how we can get back to our norm, I guess. It's not even the norm. It's like a sort of a new process, but we know how it should work because, well, we do other stuff very much like it. It should work that way. Yeah, so that was sort of interesting. And I enjoyed filling in for my ops manager because I did get, I got to touch some things that I haven't touched in a while, and look at some of the work that the analysts are doing firsthand. And, you know, there's always some interesting things that come out of that, because the way, you know, people look at things, it's always different from someone else, right? So something that makes perfect sense to my ops manager, I may go, this doesn't make sense to me. And is this going to make sense to an auditor, an examiner, or what have you, when we get audited. So that was cool. But she came back on Friday, and there's one work stream that I actually created a number of years ago, and I used to do. And when I first got into the senior manager role, it was the first thing that I got rid of and gave it to my ops manager, because it really is an operational thing. So it belongs there, but I haven't done it in a while. And let me tell you, I just could not figure it out. We have a job aid that talks about how to do it, but there's some very basic Excel things that I'm good at Excel. I'm better at Word, but I'm good at Excel. But you know how when you get good at something and then you don't do it for a while and you totally forget how to do it? That's exactly where I was at. And I find that, when you use, whether it's Microsoft Office or any program for that matter, in this role, I use a lot of data commands and stuff like that, data tools, because I work with data. In other roles, like when I was a trainer, I used more of the creative images, inserting word art, inserting tables and stuff like that, and making it look pretty because I was doing presentations. Yes, I still used the data side to like crunch numbers of attendees and stuff like that, but it wasn't the focus. So yeah, I had forgotten a bunch of stuff, and I had to restore the file that I was working on twice from the backup in SharePoint will keep your version histories. So I had to restore it to the last version my ops manager touched, and right before I started screwing with it. And then I just said, you know what, I don't have time for this. This is going to have to wait. So when she came back, I'm like, welcome back. Hope you had a good time. I said, I need you to do two things today. I know you're getting through your emails and stuff like that, but I need you to do two things. And they were this, which was ultimately, it's a simple, relatively quick process. It's just quite involved. And then the other one was just answering some requests that came in, another sort of quick item, because I didn't want to totally, pounce on her when she came back the first day back. But so yeah, there was that. Let's see. Oh, and then so during the week that I was trying to balance within all of that was, let's see, I had a doctor's appointment. I went to see my endocrinologist about thyroid. I have, is it the hypothyroidism, the slow thyroid? So talked to her a little bit, and I have to go in for a blood test. I have to do that later today, just to get my numbers and whatnot. And also looked at my blood glucose. Let's see, at one point I was pre-diabetic, and then I guess I moved into you're a diabetic category. But then I, through the use of pharmaceuticals, I'm not going to kid anybody and say that I've been crushing at the gym or anything, but through the help of pharmaceuticals, I lost 80 pounds. And funny, got right out of the diabetes. I was able to stop taking my diabetic medication. And when I went in the last time I saw my general practitioner, he was shocked and amazed. My A1C went down from, what was it, like, the goal was to get it below 7. So I was above 7, so maybe 8, 9, I don't know, maybe 12, I don't know. I got down to 4 point something, and he's like, how'd you do that? I'm like, well, I just, I'm taking my meds, but I'm also, watch what I eat. And he's like, this is sort of like an athlete, is down this low. I don't know how you got down this low. And I'm like, well, and he said, let's come off some of the medication and see if it is sustainable. And sure enough, like a year later, my A1C was the same. So I thought that was very exciting, and I was very happy with that, because anytime that I can not take a medication is a good thing. So I had that I had to fit into my schedule one day. And then I was trying to get my tire fixed from the big blowout after the Great Lakes escape, on the way home from the Great Lakes escape. So I will tell you about that in just a moment. I'm getting stared at from a little furry creature with big brown eyes next to me. They want to go outside. So I'm going to pause this video, and I will be right back and continue our discussion. Be right back. And I'm back. So where were we? I was talking about, my car. So was it Saturday? Last Saturday, I went to the car dealership, made an appointment to get my tire replaced that exploded on the way home from GLE when I hit the remnants of a big pothole. I'm pretty convinced, because I don't know if I told you, the very next day, in the spot that I hit this big piece of concrete, there were probably 24 cars that hit a 8-foot wide pothole and got either damaged tires or actual damage to their car. So I think I was the first calamity of that, or first victim of the calamity, I guess I should say. But anyway, so I went in, and they didn't have the tire in stock, so I had to wait. Earliest they would have it in would be Monday. So they were going to call. So they call on Monday, and Monday was when I had my doctor's appointment, and I thought, ooh, I can do 2 birds, 1 stone here. Let me go to my doctor's appointment, which was late in the day, and then I'll head over and get the tire fixed. And unfortunately, they weren't open that late. And I don't know. I get it, but I don't get it. I get it that people can't work 24 hours a day and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's just like, that most people work a 9 to 5. Why are you not open after 5? But whatever. So I arranged to get in there on Tuesday. So I headed over. Was it 2:30, maybe 3 o'clock, 2:30? I had a little bit of time left to work, so I brought my laptop and everything. Got there, got them started on stuff, and then started doing a little bit of remote work. And they got it fixed and whatnot, and they were super nice. The guy gave me a small discount because they didn't have the tire in stock, and I had to come back. And I thought that was very nice. They certainly didn't need to do that, but because I understand inventory as well, like as much as I would like them to have had my tire in, I get it. But so yeah, so I got that fixed, and that was nice because it's just something like off my mind. And so yeah, that was Tuesday, and then just had to make it through the rest of the week. So that's sort of what I was doing. I will tell you that all this week and last week, I have been exhausted, just utterly exhausted. Like, I will sleep very well at night, and I will sleep. My sweet spot seems to be about 6 hours. So I'll sleep 5.5 to 6 hours or so. And I wake up, do my thing, start having coffee. I'm sitting at my desk. I'm literally nodding off at my desk. And I don't understand why. Like I said, I've been sleeping well. I've been using my CPAP. Like, I've felt like this prior to having a CPAP. But now that I have the CPAP, I haven't felt like this. So then, definitely last week, that was huge. This week, at the beginning of the week, like, I was very tired, but then it got better throughout the week. So here's my theory, and tell me if you could relate to this. So when I went to the retreat, my sleep patterns did definitely change. There was one night that I got very little sleep, but 2 of the nights I slept very well, especially for being in a strange bed, right? I slept very well. But my sleep patterns may have changed a little bit. I may have went to bed a little bit later or what have you. But I think what exhausted me, I think my social battery was just completely exhausted, and it sort of manifested in this physical exhaustion, because it was awesome meeting people, seeing people, hanging out with people in person, versus online. But at the same time, I think being social just takes a lot of energy that I haven't had to expend a lot of lately. And yeah, I think it kicked my butt. It sort of felt like when I was in training and development, when I would have a week-long class, it was just an exhausting week, because you spend the week leading a group of people. You are constantly on. You are constantly on reading people's body language to see if they are having difficulties with what you are presenting. You're reacting to people having questions that you may or may not be able to answer. You're up and around. You're not sitting at a desk. Whatever the case may be. Even lunch times, it's like, oh, we're having lunch today. I have to make sure, did the pizza come? Is the pizza set up? Is the whatever? They were very exhausting days. And this was sort of the same thing, except I wasn't leading a class. I was just getting along with people. But I guess if you don't do that for a while, your energy banks deplete rapidly, and I think that's what happened. So, yeah, I was super tired and whatnot, and not sleep tired, just like, I don't know, like it wasn't I mean, it was sleep tired. I was falling asleep, but it wasn't like, oh, let me take a nap and I'm going to feel better. Like, I would take a nap and I would just want to take another nap, so I don't know. Let me check my notes. What else? Let's see. What else? Oh, and another fun thing about work this week, it was time to refresh my work laptop, so I had to get a new one. So they had sent it out to me, and the process normally is extremely painful because it never works. And you could potentially have downtime, like a day, 2 days, even 3 days of downtime, because you can't connect to things and what have you. But I will say, I think they're finally getting it. It went very well. I didn't have everything that all my programs and stuff at first, but you schedule a half-hour meeting with the tech people, and they walk through your laptop with you to make sure everything's working, to download any type of unique software that you may have, things like that. So it went very well, but I still did lose maybe a half of a day just getting it set up and working with the tech people. And then, of course, my team is also getting their laptops replaced. So then I'm dealing with, I don't have this program and they need you to open a ticket. They need you, I don't have this program and they need your approval. And just dealing with, I have to have my laptop meeting. I can't, work, and I need someone to cover. Okay, let's find somebody to cover, or let me cover, or whatever the case may be. So that also added to probably some of the exhaustion from the week. All right, so let's talk about my fuzzy roommate here that just had to go outside. So Sammy's doing, I think, very well. So I think the last time we talked, he had another vestibular episode about a vertigo, essentially. So since then, I've kept him on the medicine to help that, the meclizine, which is the same medicine people take for motion sickness, things like that. So I kept him on that, and that seems to definitely be helping. But then on Thursday, I left the house like 3 times this week, and that is just not who I've been lately. But Thursday we went to the chiropractor, took Sammy to the chiropractor, and that was pretty interesting and cool. I've been to the chiropractor for me, and I believe in chiropractic care because it has helped me with a number of different ailments. But adjusting animals is a lot different. Adjusting a big 200 plus pound guy versus a less than 20 pound dog, there were no cracks and, things that you could really be like, ooh, that had to feel good, or that's going to definitely help. It was very quiet. And actually, I thought she was doing her assessment, and she goes, okay, we're done. And I'm like, that was it? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, I was just expecting more. And she's like, nope, this is what I found. So he had, let's see, one of his hips was, had some limited movement, I guess, from some tightness and whatnot. So she adjusted that. She adjusted everything, his back, his tail. She did all the adjustments, but she also noticed the left side of his neck was a little out of alignment, and had to have some extra attention paid to it, which was good to hear, because that potentially could be a cause, maybe not the sole cause, but a cause for some of his vertigo. So, I had to drive almost an hour each way, because of course it was at 4:30, 5 o'clock or something like that. So rush hour. And even on a good day, it would be at least 40 minutes to get out there. for like a 15-minute appointment. It was sort of a letdown from that, but he's been so peppy since. Like the next day he was a little slow, and they said that may happen because he may be sore and whatnot. But he's just been peppy and, you know, doing his thing. So much better and more energy than before. So I'm happy to see it. So we're going to start doing that at least once a week until she sees some improvement. So next Thursday I'm going out there again, and forgot who I was talking to, but the weird thing about where I live. So I live directly west of the city of Chicago. I think I am about 20 miles west of like the center of the loop, or the center of downtown. Okay. And this place was, how many miles was it? Was it like 12, maybe 12 miles or something further east of me? So essentially, I go through suburb, affluent suburb, then cornfields, like literal cornfields. Then affluent suburb and chiropractor. It's like so weird that, first of all, who was I talking to? They're like, well, you've lived there all of your life. Why is this new to you? I'm like, it's not necessarily new. It's just so interesting to me that I live 20 minutes away from cornfields. You know, the area in which I live is very built up. It's just weird to have cornfields 20 minutes away. And then I'm sort of laughing that it's affluent neighborhood, cornfields, affluent neighborhood. It's like, glad we have those cornfields to sort of break up the monotony here a little bit of the McMansions and whatnot. So yeah, so the doctor was very nice. I'm supposed to not have Sammy jump. But yeah, I don't know how I could not do that. And let's be honest, he's 13, and if he wants to jump, he's going to figure out a way to jump. It's not like I can get him to stop something he's been doing his whole life. Yes, I know dogs can learn new tricks, but he's pretty stubborn. So I try to like at night, I will, I tuck him into his bed instead of next to me in bed. And for the most part, he stays down there throughout the night, but he'll jump up on the bed to come wake me up in the morning, or if he needs to go potty or something, he'll wake me up and then he jumps down. But he seems to be doing a lot better. So I'm happy about that. We go to see his internal medicine doctor at the specialty vet on Tuesday. So we'll see what his numbers are doing, his blood counts numbers and stuff like that. And to make sure that he can stay on this meclizine, or if he should be coming off it, like what's the plan to wean him off of it a little bit, because when I cut him down to just half a day, within 2 days he had another episode. So who knows? Maybe with the chiropractic stuff, I could wean him off it or onto a much lower dose, and it would work. Who knows? But he's doing well, so that makes me happy and allows me to relax a little bit. So what else? What have I been, a lot of people do this, so what have they been watching or what have they been reading? So watching, this week I did start to re-watch Schitt's Creek, which is just amazing still. And then I started watching I don't know how many episodes there are. I think I got through the first 2 episodes of season 3 of the Squid Games. And that show, a lot of times, you tell people you watch Squid Games and they look at you like, how do you watch that? It's just so violent. It's crazy, whatever. And I agree. I had to stop last night because I had my fill of blood and people getting killed. But I don't know what it is about that show that is just so intriguing to me. I mean, if you've never watched it, the essential plot is people who are down on their luck or just in dire straits with money, what have you, whether they're gambling, they have a relative that they're trying to pay for cancer treatments, anything like that. They have the criminals who are, doing things and they need to have funds and stuff like that. They get recruited to be in Squid Games. And what the Squid Games is, essentially, so the name Squid Games comes from a childhood game that they play in Korea, or in the show that they do. I don't know if it's actually real. And it's sort of like a hopscotch meets tackle football almost, that you draw something on the ground and you have to stay within the lines basically as you're sort of pushing and shoving the other people. So the Squid Games in the show are then based on, that is one of the games, but it's based on a bunch of childhood games that kids play in Korea, with the big exception of if you don't win, you are killed. And then essentially the winner gets a whole bunch of money, which is supposedly solves all of their problems. So we're back again for the 3rd season. Some of the same characters are back in the Squid Games for various reasons. But, they're still at it. At the same time, there's like a police officer who's trying to figure out, he knows something is happening. He just can't figure out where it's happening to bust it and stuff like that. So it is intriguing. When I first watched it, like the first episode, I think a lot of people probably either they watched it and decided maybe it wasn't for them, or at least you've seen reference to it in pop culture. The first episode is the one with that big doll that like sings a song and then turns around, and basically it's red light, green light. If you played that as a kid, once they turn around, you have to freeze. And if you move, they shoot you. When I first watched that, I was like, it was more of a shock thing. I'm like, what in the hell? And then I was like, do they keep doing this? Was this just like a one-time thing? So then I kept watching it. And then of course you get invested in the characters a little bit. So that made me stick around for the first season. And then, the second season, you're just like, I want to see what they did with this. So it is it's a good show. It's violent. It's very violent. But it's also incredibly sad. It's incredibly moving. It's even when good things happen, it's still like sad, because you're like, what what point do people need to get to in their lives that they go to a place to hopefully win money that in which they may actually get killed, or they need to kill someone. Like, how desperate does someone have to be to do that? So it's interesting. Reading. So reading, I have the second part of the dramatized version of Onyx Storm, which is part of the Fourth Wing Dragon series. It's the last current book, I believe. Yeah, I think there's only 3. It's the second half of the last book, so I'm excited to start that. I just haven't felt like sitting down and listening to an audiobook while I diamond paint, because my diamond painting time has been sort of just very precious lately. It's just like, no, I just want to diamond paint and focus and whatnot. So yeah, I was doing some research to find, there was a video that I did a couple weeks back of a canvas from Captured by Radiance that was True Heart. It was a lion, and it was the full name of it was, or is, The Winter's King Storybook, and then True Heart, whatever the rest of it was. But I was like, is this a book? Like, I need to find this book because I want to understand these characters. And come to find out that I was told it was a book, couldn't find anything. I thought I found it, so I started listening to another book, and it just wasn't moving along very quickly or anything. And I'm like, ugh, what the heck? So then I finally just reached out to the artist, and I said, is this a book or something? Like, where did you get these? And I may have mentioned it already, but she said that these were stories that she told her children, and that they encouraged her to do artwork of, because it was a great childhood memory. So I thought that was really cool. So I was really looking into that this week, just because I wanted to find the origin of these characters, and now to come to find out that I really can't, because they're still in a person's brain. But she said she might start putting them down on paper, so who knows. But that brings me to my second piece of news here. I am now an affiliate with Captured with Radiance. I will be doing sneak peeks and first impressions for them. And I also have a code for them down below in the description, that, again, you can use that to, I think it's 15% off, 15% off kits and pens, because they also do pens. It does not cover custom pens, okay? Again, if you use my code as shown below, I may get a little commission, but they're a really good company. I had a meeting with the 2 ladies who run it to sort of onboard me to the affiliate program, and they're super nice. They know what they're doing. They understand what people want in diamond paintings, and they're just trying to do their best to provide the best possible quality and content to their customers. So go check them out. They should be linked below the video. But yeah, so now it's the weekend, and I want to do nothing but diamond paint, but I have to go run errands. I have to get some stuff done. So I think I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to wrap my diamond painting up here as soon as I'm done with these ABs, these 2 strings of ABs here. Then I'm going to take a pause and I'm going to go run some errands and stuff, and then come home and probably start some laundry, and maybe at that point sit back down and pick up the pen again. So I hope everyone has a good weekend, has a good next week, whatever the case may be. I'm going to be filming some unboxing videos that will slowly be released with some kits that I've received from small shops. I have a couple DAC kits that I may go over as well. So stay tuned for that. And yes, and don't forget, this Sunday I do not go live at 4 Central. Tammy is actually going live at 4 Eastern, so 3 Central. Did I get that right? Go over to Diamond Painting with Tammy NMD, and she's got it posted over there. But it's Sunday. She's doing a 1-year anniversary of her channel and a birthday celebration for herself. She's calling it a blowout. And I got a look at the prizes that she, that people were kind enough to donate to her. And it's quite the list. So check it out. If you have time on Sunday, definitely check it out. There are some really cool things that you could win. Yeah, and maybe I'll see you there, because I'm helping out with some stuff. So maybe I will see you there on Sunday. So thanks, everybody. I will talk to you next time we are Speaking of Diamonds. Have a good one. Bye-bye.